for many people, is a time to relax at home, sit down near the fire, and read a good book. Other people see winter as a great time to go out, enjoy nature, the trees, the shrubs, and hike. Hiking on the winter isn't so simple. Apart from being cold, you might slip. The soil is slippery. Everyone who goes and hikes in the winter knows he might fall. And yet, that's part of the fun. That's part of going hiking on the winter. When hiking, especially when it is wet, every hiker looks around and tries to plan his next step. Where will the foot rest? Will it be on a solid rock? Or will it be on a bunch of leaves which just might slide and you will slide together with them? And the idea of hiking, of knowing that you might slip and yet we go out, and trying always to find a solid base to stand on, is the same idea of Purim. Purim is an amazing day, maybe the most special day in the year. Shalach manot, mishloach manot, matanot la'evyonim, reading the Megillah, happiness, wine, music, such a special day. What is the essence of Purim? And what can we take from Purim to the rest of the year? What can I do a week afterwards, a month afterwards, that will still keep us happy? And the same as hiking can be applied on Purim. Knowing that we can fall and yet continue, and finding a solid base to stand on. What is the solid base? To answer that, let's go back about 2,500 years ago to the times of Purim. What is the nation doing? Well, we know that they are in Shushan and scattered in other places, as it says in the Megillah, Yeshno am echad mefuzar umeforad ben ha'amim. This one nation which is scattered around and divided between all of the nations. But what is happening then to the Jewish nation? Well, they're in exile. The temple was destroyed a few tens of years beforehand. But some people already started to return back to Jerusalem. Zerubbabel, as we see in the beginning of the book of Ezra, took with him a few thousand people. They returned to Jerusalem and started building the temple. There is hope in the nation. Most of the nation is far behind. But there is hope. Maybe we might return back home. Maybe we can come out of exile, return to the same kingdom we had in the past. And then comes Purim. The Persian king stops building the temple. Most of the Jews are in exile, and they lose the hope of returning back to Jerusalem. The dream just dissolved in front of their eyes. Our sages tell us that Achashverosh, in his big feast he took out the vessels from the temple to show them off and tell the Jews, forget about your dreams. There's no chance of going back to Jerusalem. Think of how the Jewish nation feels then. We read the Megillah, parts of the Megillah with the tune of Eicha. I'm sure the Jews felt the Eicha, they felt, do we have hope? That is the background story of Purim. The end of the story, we know we have hope. What is the hope and how can we build the hope? One of the foods is so connected to Purim is the Haman Tashan. I don't think Haman had a triangle ear like this, and I don't think his ear had some jelly inside it. Actually, the name comes from a play of words, but the Haman Tashan has 3 corners. And we as a nation have 3 pillars which give us a base to stand up rise, and continue the next step. We have our land, our homeland, the same homeland the Jews were trying to get to. We have our nation, Am Israel, and we have Hashem. We have a vision, the Torah, which can uplift us from every situation we are. This is the struggle that the people in Purim faced. And this is exactly the base. They knew they have to stand on. They knew they have a land. They knew they have a home, a place which belongs to them. Yes, they are far away. But they have a connection to something stable, to solid land, and not just weeds which can slip, not just other places which don't belong to the Jewish nation. And when a person has a place he knows he belongs there, that gives him the ability to continue and grow. We need to know we are secure, and security comes by a place, our homeland. We aren't individuals. The triangle has the second corner, the nation, the community. Giving to other people, being in touch with other people, helps us not less than it helps them. It fills us not less than it fills others. As we all have seen in the last year of COVID, how hard it is not to be in touch with other people. How hard it is not to just stop and schmooze and chat with people. And the nation was scattered around, but yet knew we can combine together. Lech kenos et kol hayudim hanimtzeim b'Shushan, says Esther to Mordechai. Go and gather all the Jewish people in Shushan. Gathering them, that gives us strength. It gives us happiness. But we aren't just a nation of a land and a community. We are a nation with a vision, with connecting to Hashem, with uplifting ourselves from this materialistic life into the great spiritual life. Tzumu alai, says Esther. Pray, fast. And as Chazal says, Hador kibluha bimei Achashverosh. The Jewish people received the Torah again on the times of Achashverosh. We read the Megillah, we added the mitzvah. Having a vision, seeing more than just our close area, having a vision which is much above us, a spiritual vision, fills us with joy and happiness. And those three things, being connected to our homeland, our base, being together with community, giving out to people, giving shalach manot, giving matanot le'evyonim, presents to the poor. This fills us with happiness. And at last, uplifting ourselves, learning, doing mitzvot, seeing how we can go up from the work and hobbies and other great things we have, but let's become even higher. That is the third pillar, the third side of this triangle and Ham Tashan. If we take those three things, we will be full of happiness, not just on Purim, every day. Although we say in Hebrew, Lo kol yom Purim, Purim isn't every day. Yet we can learn from Purim to every day. Remember those three things. Eretz Israel, the land of Israel. Am Israel, the nation of Israel, our communities, our brothers, our sisters, and Torah Israel, Torah and mitzvot which uplift us. After we have the space, we can go to our journey. And we should know, we will fall. We might go to the land of Israel like Zerubbabel went, and after a few years he'll be stopped. He'll be stopped and he won't know what will be his next step. That's part of life. Accepting the idea that we can fall and it is fine. And afterwards we'll just find our base again and just rise again and fall again. That's also fine. That enables us to start walking. And combining those two ideas, combining our base and combining the idea that we're in a process, and process is a great thing. We are allowed to be in a process. We are allowed to fall. This is the happiness of Purim. This is a secret. With this, I want to wish you and us all Let's have a great and happy Purim. Let's allow ourselves to walk, although we might not reach our destination in the next moment. Let's allow ourselves to find our base. Let's allow ourselves to be happy. Purim Sameach.